Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week and you've had a wonderful Easter weekend. Right, so the market's looking very interesting this coming week. What I'm going to do today, I want to show you some of the historical charts that we have looked at, some of which we've looked at since last year already. Those that have been following these webinars for a while will know that I have been saying we should just only be selling US dollar CAD, and I'm going to show you why we've been doing that for the past year or so. So for the past year, where US dollar CAD has been dropping, we have only been selling it. How did we know that we should only be selling US dollar CAD, and what is the next move? So US dollar CAD has dropped over 2,000 pips since the beginning of last year. So this was the last peak there since 2020. From around April 2020, we made the peak at 147, and now we are currently at over 2,300 pips down on US dollar CAD. So I'm going to show you how we have been looking at this practically and not in hindsight, how we saw these moves before. Right, so before we get started, please take note of some of the changes that we're putting up on the website. I'm going to go through it just now. If you'd like to contact us, if you want to check out our website, you can check the link under the description of all our videos. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Drop us a like and drop us a comment as well. We value your input. Right, so you will see all our contact details here under the description of each and every video. Follow us also on our social media pages, on Twitter especially, as well as Facebook, so you can see the latest updates. So we are also posting up blogs on our website. There is our website link there. To get onto our website, you can just click on there, and you will see that when you get to our website, there is currently a 30% discount Easter sale that you can access on the website. Please note that the prices listed are already discounted and they are valid up until the 10th. Let's just go home here. They are valid up until the 10th of April. Okay, so they're valid up until the 10th of April. This is an Easter sale, 30% off across all courses and subscriptions. You can take advantage of those. So what we have also added onto our website, you'll see there's going to be a number of changes. We're trying to give our members as much assistance as possible. We have added the chat room. So what we do with the chat room is anybody who's got any issues with one of these groups of pairs, there will be somebody manning these chat rooms, responding to any queries that may arise from the members. And I understand that as much as we have got the members trained, there's always that you always have some issues, some questions regarding a trade that you're currently in and what we expect of the next move going forward. So that is the chat room. We've added the chat rooms. We've got 5 chat rooms with different pairs. So that will really assist a lot. So if you remember, you'll get 24-hour assistance via our chat room. Also, take note of our new tab here that says news. Is mostly blogs here. So as you've seen, we've already posted our latest blog is on gold. You can read that out. We will go through that in a bit, but not in as much detail as you will see on the blog. So we've already posted up a blog on gold and a blog on pound US dollar. We'll be posting up a lot more as the time goes. So that is what you'll see. So do not forget also to check out our chart of the week. Let's have a look at our chart of the week. Let's see our chart of the week here. Under members, let's go to chart of the week. So this is the chart of the week. So for the last couple of days, we have already posted up a few charts of the week. So if you look at natural gas, it has already started making a move to the upside. We'll go through this. As we start our analysis in a bit. So that is what we're looking at here on US dollar CAD. Right, so let's just check out natural gas and how it's playing out, the forecast and how natural gas is playing out. Let's have a look at natural gas. So natural gas, this is what we've got here. So we had a trade set up on natural gas here. Let me just get my annotation tool out here. let's get our annotation too. So the natural gas trade setup, we got it from here, and we're expecting to go to the upside. We've already made a short move to around these levels. Now the question is whether this will continue to the upside, which is what we'll be monitoring in a bit. So that was a natural gas. So you can check out our charts of the week here. So as much as this is under members, you can actually access it. This is accessible to anyone. Even if you're not a member, you can access our chart of the week. Bitcoin chart, you have all seen how we forecasted this, not only just from current levels, we forecasted this from the blue box, expecting it to push to the upside. For the Bitcoin update, look out for our crypto webinar shortly after this, or you can just check the video on our YouTube channel. So that was the Bitcoin chart of the week, and then we've got currently the latest one is NIFTY, where we're expecting this one to push to the upside. We will update this shortly as we start. So what we also have on the website, I'm not going to go through everything, otherwise we'll run out of time. So you can check it out, go through all the tabs that you can access, and if you'd like to access more, there's also educational videos. This is what you will access, the full course, once you've purchased the course on the website. And you will also get things like this, that is a trade setup. So one of the trade setups that we've got here is the USDJPY trade setup, which we are forecasting 250 pips to around 111.29. So we got this one right here at 108.84, and it has already pushed up 200 pips. We are currently around these levels. Now, if you look at the USDJPY, this was posted on the 24th of March, and it has already pushed up over 200 pips. We are looking for 250 in total, and we're still expecting this to continue to the upside. This was our trade setup on US dollar yen, so you can have a look here. So this is the one here, so if you can remember that chart. So this is where we got this one at 1084, has pushed up. Simple trade setup. We're still expecting this to go another 50 pips to the target. That is how members benefit with these trade setups. We've got a few more here. We've got platinum as well that we forecasted was going to push to the upside as follows. Let's have a look here. How has platinum gone up now? We have pushed up higher in 3 waves. It looks like 3 waves. We are around this level, so we want to see if this is going to continue to the upside. This is our forecast. We will be managing that. And we've got also a trade setup on silver that has not taken off, that has not played out. So this has been invalidated and has hit our stop, and that happens. That is part of trading. Now let's get started with our market analysis, and I'm going to start with the US dollar CAD today. Let's start with the US dollar CAD so you can see how we trade historically and how you should actually be applying wave theory. Let's have a look at US dollar CAD. I'm going to go through the rest of the US dollar pairs, but I just want you to see this one first. So let's have a look at a chart that we posted for our members back in April of last year. Let's go to this one here. Let's look for US dollar CAD. So this is important because you guys are seeing the front end of very detailed analysis every single weekend. So every weekend you're only seeing the last bit of a swing in the lower time frame, and you do not see where this is coming from. That is what we cover in our course, how to do historical analysis until we get a trade setup. So now this is US dollar CAD. This is September 2020. Let me see if I can get to April so you can see where this one came from. Let's try to get to April, then we'll get to the latest one and that we focused on the weekly chart. Now, if we look at this year, US dollar CAD last year, let's check when this chart was posted for our members. This was April 25th last year. So in April last year, we were looking for these to be making a continuation pattern to the upside. But remember, we've got an indicator that tells us when the trend is going to reverse. So our sequence was showing us that we are going to have something like this. And we're going to have, after this, obviously, you should have continuation to the upside. So we never got that continuation to the upside. So that is why when we were around these levels, we were only getting setups for downside. And you'll see that we've only been selling. And I have been saying, if you watch the previous videos, that if you are trading US dollar CAD, you do not look for any buys, and that I've been saying for the past year or so. So this was the first trade setup, and then we started seeing that this has actually reached the end at 147, at the peak at 147 in April of 2020, and we started trading it to the downside. So that means all the trade setups that we have been taking on US dollar CAD have been downside because of this chart from September last year. Let's have a look here. On September, let's go to September and look at the weekly chart in September. This is US dollar CAD. Let's go to this chart. September last year, we knew already that US dollar CAD, so just make sure this is September 4th, 2020, when this chart was posted for our members. So what we are doing here, it is not in hindsight. We see these things way before they happen. Where is US dollar CAD currently? US dollar CAD is around these levels currently, and we're looking for it to continue to around these levels. Let's have a look here. We are looking for US dollar CAD to get to around these levels. How did we know that this needed to come to drop here? So this was 147. What you see here is when we were still looking for that trade setups to the downside, and after that we could see that this is coming down impulsively and not correctively. That meant that that peak from April 2020 was already in place, and we were looking for this to come down to 120, 1.2 on US dollar CAD. So you can see here from 131 September, we expected it to drop. We've already dropped to around, we are currently around 125. This is a big move on a weekly chart. That's over 600 pips. It's going down slowly now, and this is how we're looking at US dollar CAD now. What are we looking at in terms of the next move here currently on US dollar CAD? Yes, we've seen it from historical charts. You've seen all the videos previously that we've only, as soon as every time we saw a bounce on US dollar CAD, we've only just said that is an opportunity to take it lower. If you look at this chart here, this was one of the charts that we had here. We were seeing these bounces. Every time there was a bounce, we still only expected this to continue to the downside for the past year or so. So now this is all the trade setups on US dollar CAD. So that is not the only one. So if you want to see, just to illustrate, I've shown you pound yen previously. Let's have a look at pound yen trade setup. Exactly the same way. Obviously, to be able to understand these sequences, you need to understand the Elliott wave structure. Not things that you read from Google, but you need to read from the books that Elliott wrote himself, Elliott's work himself. So let's look at pound yen. This is pound yen. Now, what you're seeing here on pound yen, this is a chart from, let's look at this one here. This was from the beginning of the year. Now, if you look at this chart from the beginning of the year on pound yen, look at this, where we on pound yen, look at where we were. We were at 140. Where are we now currently with pound yen? We're at 153. What is our target? We're looking for it to get here. Okay, so we've already made this move. How big is this move in terms of pips? This is 1,300 pips, because we are currently on 153 on the weekly chart. We saw this in January. So between January and now, pound yen alone has already pushed up 1,300 pips, and we have only been saying one thing only, that is you need to be buying every pullback on pound yen. So this was the daily chart. This was the weekly chart. Let me just see the date on this one. So this was also updated on the same date as the weekly chart. As you can see, this is the detail of what we expect when we get to that 156 that we're expecting. Are we going to push to the downside? But let's not talk about that now. That is what we're going to look at when we get to those levels. Now you will see the exact now trade setups in the lower time frames on the 4-hour. We now know on the weekly that we need to get to around 156. So now how do we trade it? Every time we get a setup, and this was at 140, every time we get a setup, we take it up higher. Where are we now? We've pushed up with this leg. And you'll see that every time we updated charts, we have only been looking to buy pound yen. So even this move, we've also I've posted this one previously, where we expected this one to pull back and push to the upside. How did we know that we're going to go all the way to the upside? go check your charts, you'll see that this move exists there on the chart. We've come down and we've already made this move. So that is how we have been trading. Now, you will not even attempt to buy if you understand the structure. So that's what I wanted you to see here. So what you are seeing here, when we come to the webinar, this is what I will be showing you on the charts. So let's just go to that pound yen, and this is what you see. Yes, it will help you somewhat for that week because you'll only see what we are showing here as the front end of this detailed analysis. What are you going to see? We're going to see that this is going to continue to the upside. We're telling that it's going to continue to the upside because the indicators and the sequence is still telling us that that is going to be the move to happen. Okay, but what about the rest of the move? What happens when you get to those levels? When are we going to start selling? So that is the kind of stuff that you will not see if you do not understand the strategy or if you have not attended our course. Let's start with the DXY. Let's start with the detailed with the analysis on for the weekly charts now. So the DXY on the 4 hour, what are we expecting? I'm expecting a further continuation to the upside. This is a 3-wave pullback. I'm expecting this one to push slightly higher. Why are we expecting that? We still have this structure here on US dollar CAD. It does not look complete as yet. We're looking at this. So this as a 3-wave move to the upside. We'll be looking at that to be making 3 waves here, 3 waves here, and we're looking for these 3 waves here. But it looks like we're still going to have a bit of a push to the upside. But on the 1 hour, this looks like it's going to come around these levels here. So we're going to go to the 1 hour just to see. So what is this continuation pattern? This is 3 waves to the upside, W, 3 waves down, X, and then a Y. Do we now get a reversal around these levels on the DXY? Let's have a look at the 1 hour, because the 1 hour needs to show us what's happening in the lower degree. Are we getting a reversal in the lower degree? Let's have a look at the 4-hour chart. So the 4-hour chart is not showing us upside as we're expecting. Let's see the 1 hour. What are we seeing on the 1 hour? What are we getting on the 1 hour? The 1 hour is showing us downside currently. So that means before we push any further up higher, we've got this short-term movement move to the downside here on the DXY. So we'll be looking for this one to continue with this corrective structure, whether this makes a 3 waves down and a 3 waves up and a 3 waves down before continue to the upside. That's what we're going to be watching. But for now, we are looking at this to be making this 3-wave pullback, and we're looking for this for the DXY to make one more leg to the downside in the lower degree at least. Euro US dollar. Now Euro US dollar, let's have a look here. Also looking corrective with this move to the upside. These are 3 waves. This is another 3 waves to the downside. Are we going to see Euro US dollar do the same move in the inverse of the DXY move, make a push to the upside and continue to the downside? Why are we looking at this? This could be a smaller degree WXY correction in the 1 hour, showing us continuation pattern to the downside, because the euro is still showing us downside. As much as we are looking at this bigger corrective structure here on the 4 hour, the euro may not be done as yet with the upside move. Okay, we've not got confirmation that this is the end of the move on the euro. We're looking at this as 3 waves, but this may still be showing us a bit of a continuation to the downside as follows. That's why on the 1 hour, we're seeing that there's a possibility to be pushing slightly up higher, but that does not mean the reversal as yet. We will watch for the reversal. If we get with this one more down, we get some divergence on the RSI as well, then we'll start seeing if we're not gonna at least get a 3-wave pullback on Euro US dollar. So for now, we sit on our hands and watch that. Right, so pound US dollar, just check pound US dollar on our blog. Let's just have a look here and show you what we expected on pound US dollar. We've posted this blog last week. If you had watched this, you will know that pound US dollar, let's go to pound US dollar, we're still expecting it to push a little bit lower. Let's have a look here. This is our blog posted on the 24th of March. Go check it out, because it is playing out exactly as we expected. We've got a move to the downside here. We've got a bit of a pullback, which is what we expect, and we're looking for this to continue to the downside here into this area. We will only start looking for buys around this area on pound US dollar, because we're looking at this 3-wave corrective structure and then upside. Only when we get to this level will we determine whether the reversal happens from that level. So let's have a look here currently on pound US dollar. Are we still going to get that drop? So this is the pullback here that we expected, and then we're expecting this one to go down into the blue box as follows, and this will be our structure. This will be a move down, move up, one leg down, and then upside, giving us this as an ABC corrective structure here. Are we going to get that as a pullback? So this is supposed to be the lower degree here. This is supposed to be the lower degree here. Let's have a look here. ABC, ABC, ABC there. It's actually a WXY structure here. So our yellow here will be a WXY corrective structure. Let's have a look at how this plays out. So we need to see here on the 4 hour, we are seeing this to be making a push to the downside with this pullback. But the 1 hour is showing us a push to the upside for now. Let's see how far that will go. Will that be sustainable? So let's have a look here on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is showing us this small continuation pattern here, and it is confirming one more move to the upside. Not just because we already have a pulse move there, but that is what we were seeing since this morning, as this was giving us these 3 waves here. So we could see that we're still going to have a push to the upside. Whether that push to the upside is a reversal or will mean that this bigger corrective structure has ended, we're not gonna know as yet until we get to this level. So we could have this one as having completed as follows. Let's have a look here. Could have completed as follows, as 1, 2, 3, but this will not be a decent corrective structure if it just goes from current levels. So we'd want it to complete the sequence and then come around these levels as we are forecasting to the upside. But if it does happen that it does not reach that level, it is not a rule that it must. Then we'll be watching for a trade setup for the continuation to the upside to the overall target of 144. Remember the target on US dollar, pound US dollar, we're looking at this to go to 144. We're looking to go for this to go to 144. This is the daily chart where we're looking for 144. We're looking for this level here. This we're looking as a corrective structure, a 3-way pullback, and continuation to up around these levels here, around this level. That is pound US dollar. Let's look at pound US dollar chief. Let's look at the lower degree. What are we getting in the lower degree for hour? So US dollar chief looks like it's giving us a 3-wave pullback here. A 3-wave pullback, this is what we're going to be expecting here. 1, 2, 3 here, a move down here, maybe one more down before any reversal to the downside. Just the inverse of what the DXY exactly. This one is correlated obviously to the DXY, so that's why we're expecting a possible push to the upside before the reversal. It's the same way that we're expecting a possible push down on Euro US dollar for a move to the downside. So Euro US dollar, we're expecting this here. 1, 2. Are we going to get this one more down before we push to the upside? You can see that these are the inverses of these 2 moves, same as the DXY. As you can see here, DXY will be obviously similar to what we're expecting with the US dollar chief. Is it going to do this, even if it pushes lower here, and give us one more move to the downside? That is what we expect of the US dollar pairs. Right, so let's have a look at US dollar CAD. We've spoken about US dollar CAD. What do we expect of US dollar CAD? US dollar CAD, we're still expecting it to continue to the downside. We're not ready for a bounce yet. I've shown you this one in the beginning, how we've traded this one historically. Even if this pushes up from here and make these 3 waves to the upside, you should be looking to sell it. Even if we do get back to around these levels, look to sell it there. If we get a trade setup to sell it here, we'll be looking to check it from here and continue to the downside. That is how we're looking at US dollar CAD. We're not looking for buys as yet. We do not have any trade setup for upside as yet. Now, this is AUD US dollar. AUD US dollar. Could it have completed all its 3 waves here? So we're looking at this on AUD US dollar. We're going to be watching this one here. We were looking for this one to drop a little bit lower. Let's just have a look here on where our expectation was. We're looking for it to reverse around this level. So we didn't quite get here. Doesn't matter. Let's just watch and see if we are going to get a trade setup from current levels. So currently we do not necessarily have a trade setup on AUD US dollar. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour may be showing us a trade setup, but we don't like this one much. This is 3 waves down. Could we have 3 waves up? We could get one more down here before we get a move to the upside. So let's watch this level here on AUD US. So let's look at that corrective structure. New Zealand US dollar also on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, you can see we're pushing up higher. We're seeing a continuation pattern there with 1, 2, 3, and we're looking for this one to push slightly higher. Is this the move to the upside, then come down? Let's have a look at the 4 hour chart here. So the 4-hour could be showing us these 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and 5 waves to the upside, by the way. So this will be an ABC corrective structure. So then this will be the 1, 2, 3, 4 in this level here, in this leg here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be brilliant. We'll look for divergence there, and we'll look for continuation to the downside. Just like I've shown last week, this one has not quite reached the bottom that we look at, the level that we want it to reverse from as well, just like New Zealand US dollar, we wanted it to come around these levels. Okay, so just refer to the previous videos as well. We've looked at this. US dollar ZAR is an amazing one. It is playing out exactly as forecasted, and we still expect US dollar ZAR, or rather the South African rand, to be strong against the US dollar in the next coming session. We're looking for this one to continue lower. Last week we were here, we had this corrective structure. We actually around these levels, kept pushing up higher, but we could see that this was going to continue to the downside. That's why we're looking for US dollar ZAR to continue lower as follows around these levels. So we focused that this was, as it was coming down here, we focused that we're going to get a bounce here. Go look at the videos from around the 11th of February or the 10th of February. You will see that we've been focusing US dollar ZAR to come take this low here, push up here, and then come down. All those moves have now played out, and we're looking for this one to continue to the downside. That is US dollar ZAR. We're still looking for further downside. Pound yen, you've already seen what we're expecting with this one. We're looking for continuation to the upside at these levels. Continuation to the upside. The overall target is 156. I went through this one in detail in the beginning. US dollar yen, I've shown you this one under trade setups. We've already bought this one here from 1084, already at 200 pips up higher. We're still looking for this one to go for another 50 pips to around 1127. So continuation to the upside on US dollar yen. Euro yen, if you look at last week, just note that this candle that you see here does not exist on other brokers. It's only on TradingView. This candle does not exist. US dollar yen, rather euro yen, never traded this low in the last couple of sessions. This candle does not exist. If you go check at your broker charts, you will see that this candle does not exist. So what did we look at last week on euro yen? We looked at this one to be doing a 3-wave running flat as follows, and then for this one to continue to the upside, and it has been giving opportunities for sell for buys here from around here, even here. Now we're looking for a bit of a deeper one like this. Okay, so maybe this candle is just giving a clue, but that's not how it works. This is just a you can call it a fat finger problem on the chart. Does not exist. It is not there. But we are expecting that if we're going to continue to the upside, if we're going to take advantage of this, if you missed it from here where we focused it, then you look for a pullback and then take it up higher. So that is what we're looking at on euro yen. CHF yen, exactly the same structure, but this one looks like more like a zigzag. So we looked at this one to be making a 1, 2, 3, and then upside. We are currently here looking for this one to be a continuation pattern for further upside on CHF yen. Let's just switch off here so we can only see the structure. We had this zigzag looking continuation pattern to the upside on CHF yen. Last week we did say that this was going to continue to the upside, and that's exactly what has happened. CAD yen, now CAD yen, we looked at this one to be making a 3-wave structure here. I was even looking for this one to make one more down here to make it a double, because I'm looking for a deeper correction here on USDCAD. We didn't get one more down. Instead, it just continued to the upside. Now, for the next week, look for this one to continue to the upside. We're going to break this level here. We're going to go further up higher. Remember why we are buying CAD yen? It's exactly the same way, same thing that we were doing with the US dollar CAD. We were only selling, and with CAD yen, we're doing the same thing. We are only just buying because the bigger structure is upside and it's bullish. We don't even look at any sales on US CAD yen. Looking into New Zealand yen, it has given us this structure. Was not such a clean structure. Looks like a zigzag though, because this does not take the level here, but it has pulled back too deep here. But we can accept this as a zigzag. Look for a continuation to the upside. We may get a pullback here to about 38-50% before we push to the upside on New Zealand yen. That's what we looked at yesterday, last week rather, with our weekly outlook. Same thing with Audi US dollar, has made a nice running flat with this 3-wave correction here, and looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. So any continuation pattern here will be a move to the upside on Audi yen. Gold, somebody has texted me that I have saved them from buying gold from when we were still at the top by simply watching our analysis. So look at our gold blog and what we expect of gold on our website. Check out our gold blog. So with gold, we're expecting this move. At some point, we just need to see if this has completed its pullback and if we're going to see a continuation to the upside. So we're looking at this one as a 1, 2, this one is a 3 and a 4, and then we'll be looking for gold to give us the last move to the upside. So we're still in this corrective structure. Let's see if gold is going to start reversing. Last week, just after we posted this blog, we saw this candle on the 4-hour, but it does not mean that that is the one that we're looking at as yet. So we will see here at these levels if we do get a trade setup, whether we get a pullback here, and if this is the start of the move to the upside on gold. We can still get a move like this, which will be a very clear one and which will be good for to get the trade from right at the bottom if we get a structure like this. So this is going to be a structure like this here, where we're getting this one as a regular flat. We drop one more down before we actually push to the upside. So let's watch for the two possibilities. Whichever one will confirm, we'll be taking that on gold. Are we close to the reversal here? Looks like we are close to the reversal on gold, so we need to watch these levels on gold. Silver, so I think gold will still push lower because silver we're still expecting silver to push a little bit lower. This is gold, so let's have a look at silver. So silver, we have been looking at this one. We thought at this level here we're going to get a reversal on silver. That's why we had this one as a trade of the week. We thought we're going to have this one as a 3-wave pullback here. Did not happen. This is still continuing to the downside, and silver will still push lower in the coming week. If we look at the daily on silver, this is why we're looking for silver to come down. We're looking for it to come to around 22 area at this level. So silver, this is a continuation pattern. We are going to see silver push lower, and if silver is still pushing lower, gold should still also push lower for that one leg that we're expecting. Are we going to see a reversal here on silver? Let's watch it at around 22 levels. So currently we are seeing continuation pattern to the downside, even in the lower degree on silver. So look to take silver down. Let's see how that's going to play. So we're looking at this one as a 3-wave pullback, and we're expecting silver to do this. That's a 3-wave pullback, and we'll be looking for this one to continue to the downside. Platinum. So platinum was also our trade of the week. Last week we took 2 weeks back, we took it based on this. We're looking for this one to be pushing to the upside. We've already made this move. We've already made this move on platinum. We can still push a little bit higher at this level. Whether this goes from here or it makes one more down is what we need to determine first. But currently we are in the trade. It has been posted as our trade of the week. Everybody should have had access to that. You should have already got this short move to the upside. Is it going to continue to the upside? Let's have a look here. It is not going up aggressively as we expected, and this may be just a 3-wave continuation pattern as follows. That will still make sense. Based on gold and silver still pushing lower, platinum can come down in this level. And if it does come down, the structure will be very clear because it would have made this move here. A move up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and another 3 waves up. Take this low, make a bounce, one more down before we push to the upside. That's how we're looking at platinum. Could actually be a very clear structure as follows. Let's draw it here. Could be a very clear structure as follows for one more down and then upside. That is platinum. Right, Brent crude. Is Brent crude ready for a push to the upside? Last week, we were looking at this one to have made the 3 waves here and looking for this one to give us maybe another 3 waves before we push to the upside. It has not gone anywhere. It has just gone sideways, as you can see. So we still have the 3 waves, but it has gone sideways with 3 waves. It's another 3 waves. We could come down here with this 3 here, maybe make a push to the upside with another 3. Then that will be a clear corrective structure, WXY structure, and then we'll expect this one to give us the 5 waves down here and another 5 waves down here before we get Brent crude to push to the upside. But for the next coming session, we're expecting Brent crude to go sideways instead with this pattern. So that's what we're going to be looking at. We're not looking to trade oil up or down at this stage. Pound CHF. Now look at Pound CHF. Also one of the trades that you need to see from historical data that we've just been saying, and this one was not even that long ago because it has pushed up higher with quite a fast, quick move. So when we were here on a Pound CHF, we were looking for this one to push to the upside here. I was simply looking for it to get to this level just to give us this ABC pattern here, but it doesn't look like it's a simple ABC pattern. Let's see what it looks like, what we focused on when this one was playing out. If you look at this here on Pound CHF, let's have a look at when this was posted. This was posted quite a while back. This was June of last year. So June of last year already on Pound CHF, we have been looking for this one to come down around here and push up higher, as you can see. And as I've mentioned, we're looking out for this one to just push only up until this level. So it has done this, has come back down, and has made a push to the upside. So we also got the trade here when it actually went all the way up to about 130 where we are currently. That's about 1,000 pips now on Pound CHF, and that's how we saw it back in June of last year. This is how it has played out eventually. As you can see, as it was coming down, we're focusing that it was going to push to the upside. We did get this move here, but only up around these levels. Makes one push to the downside and pushes to the upside as well. So, but if you've been watching the videos, you will see how we focused those moves. That is when it was reversing. As you can see, this was a trade setup. We're looking for this one to push to the upside. This is all happening back in July of last year already, almost a year ago. And this is how we traded Pound CHF. That's just an update on the 1 hour. So when this is playing, we keep updating the members of what we expect of the pair to be doing. So this, as you can see, it has started playing out. We're looking for this one to push to the upside, and we do indeed get to the upside, but only up to this level. But we got another opportunity with the current leg, which is currently at about 130, and that's how we look at this pairs. That's how this is played out. As you can see, we keep updating it. It's the same leg, it's going upwards. So we're telling the members that as much as you're seeing these pullbacks, do not panic. You just need to hold your trades and push it to the upside. That's how we trade. And when you know the structure and the sequence, you trade with confidence, and you know you have a clear direction of where the market is going. Now, in the last couple of days, we have been in this corrective structure that we looked to complete, and it has now completed. This is the corrective structure that we looked at on a Pound CHF. We're looking for this one to do this 1, 2, 3, and a push to the upside. This is a complex correction as follows: 1, 2. Let's just do this one clearly. Let's clear this. That's a complex correction as follows. We've got here a move down, a correction, and a move down. We're looking for this one to push to the upside. That's how we looked at Pound CHF, and we're still looking for it to continue to the upside. Now there's no new trade setup because that has already made quite a significant move to the upside. Now Pound CAD, let's go back. We're actually on the 4 hour. So Pound CAD, we're looking for this one to continue to the downside. We are currently making this corrective structure. Initially, we thought this was going to continue to the downside here. Did not happen, but we are looking at this as a move down. 1, 2, we could have this one doing this. Even if we do get another bounce back up around these levels, we'll expect Pound CAD to continue to the downside, especially if oil resumes the move to the upside. That is Pound CAD, Pound AUD. Pound AUD, has Pound AUD reached the end of the move to the upside? We looked at Pound AUD as follows over the last couple of weeks. We're looking at this one to be making 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and 3 waves to the upside here. Has Pound AUD reached the end of the move here? We'll be looking for trade setups to the downside as follows. So what we'll be looking for here is this 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and 3 waves to the upside. Let's start looking for trade setups to the downside. Nothing is set up as yet. Pound New Zealand, same structure, but a bit of a different pattern here. 1, 2, 3 there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 there. We've got 1, 2, 3 there. We've got 1, 2, 3. Is this the end of the move here? Do we have our full correction here? We'll be looking for trade setups to the downside on Pound AUD and Pound New Zealand as follows. So we wait for the indicator to confirm. if that's the end of the move. Euro pound, so the pound pairs are still continuing to the upside. So we didn't quite get this bounce that we were looking at on euro pound, so it just pushed up higher. So that meant that is all the correction. This was another correction. We're still looking for this one to continue pushing to the downside. Okay, so that is euro pound, euro AUD. Euro AUD is going sideways. Euro AUD is going sideways as follows. Let's just look at the last leg here. It has made 3 waves to the upside as follows. 3 waves. We're coming down in another 3 waves. We can get a bounce up here in 3 waves as follows. Come down as follows. Then we have this structure here. So let's see Euro AUD pushing lower here. It's just going sideways. No trade set up there really. So what we were expecting has not played out just yet. It has not gone anywhere. It's just going sideways. That is Euro AUD, Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand still expecting continuation to the downside, especially after making this nice 3-wave corrective structure in an ABC fashion here. So we're looking for this one to give us a bit of a bounce here, a pullback to about 38 if it's going to continue to the downside. We're looking for continuation to the downside on Euro New Zealand, and that's only on the 4-hour. EURCAD, nothing new on EURCAD. We're still expecting continuation to the downside. Just like USDCAD, we have been selling EURCAD since the beginning of the year. So looking for continuation to the downside. EURCHF. EURCHF, last week we were looking for these to drop from here. We've got 3 waves down here. We're looking for this one to have made a 3-wave move to the upside, and for this one to give us another 3 waves to the downside. Nothing has changed. We still have the 3 waves down. We still have the 3 waves up here. We're still expecting this one to do this before any push to the upside. How is that playing out? So we've got what looks like a complex correction here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, W, X, and a Y here as follows. Okay, so that's what we have here on EUROCHF, looking for continuation to the upside. AUD New Zealand has been a bit tricky here, so we are looking at this pattern now on AUD New Zealand. At this level here, we're still looking for a continuation pattern to the upside. It has not played out. We are looking at this now. This can reverse at any time and may give us a running flat, but we're looking for this one to at least get around this level so we can get to about 50% of this move if we're going to get continuation to the upside here. So let's see how that plays out. So we've got that. We've got this as A, B, C. Let's see how this plays out. Currently, we're looking for this one to come down. That is AUD New Zealand, AUD CAD. AUD CAD, we actually looked for this one to push to the upside from around these levels. It has dropped and pushed back up again. We are exactly where we were around this level. So AUD CAD should push one more down again. We're going to see continuation to the downside. Let me go to the daily on the crosses. We are on the crosses now because they all have a similar structure on the daily. Now, if you look at this one here, this is a whole move from the beginning of 2020. So we have been pushing up with this impulsive move since 2020 last year, March. So we've made one single impulse. We're going to expect a bounce here before we get a continuation to the upside, to the downside rather. AUD CHF, because of the weakness in the CHF, we'll expect this one to give us one more up. As you've seen, pound CHF is also pushing up higher, so we'll be looking for this one to do this. Even if we do see this one come down around these levels, we'll expect continuation to the upside. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD still showing us continuation to the downside. Look for continuation to the downside here. Do not buy New Zealand CAD. Look for it to continue lower. New Zealand CHF. New Zealand CHF, look for a push to the upside. CHF is weak. That's why you see all the pairs that have got CHF on them are pushing to the upside against the CHF. So we're looking for this one to continue to the upside after making this 1, 2, 3 waves down. Looking for upside here on New Zealand CHF. CADJPY, another parabolic move. Look only for buys here. Look only for buys on CADJPY. We're looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. Here's another setup. So that means in the next coming session, we're going to see CADJPY push to the upside. That is a trade setup. That is a setup for, that's a continuation pattern to the upside, not necessarily a trade to the upside. Looking at the indices, do I even need to do any analysis? Yes. everything that we have said will happen here has happened on the S&P 500. We're looking for this leg to give us 5 waves to the upside. Looks like we already have the 5 waves here, and we're looking for the last move here on the S&P 500. So we have only been saying just look for continuation patterns to the upside, because we knew the overall structure on the S&P 500. Let me see if I can locate some of the trade setups that we posted a couple of months back on the indices. Let me try to find S&P 500. S&P 500, so we can see here how we have been forecasting this. So this was May 22nd. Let's see here. So May 17, 2020, S&P 500. We initially looked for this to be making a three-way structure to the upside. When we got it from here, this is why we have been saying you only need to look for buy setups on the S&P 500. You'll see that we've also adjusted the structure when it started playing out as a 5-wave structure. Now, eventually we looked at this one to be a wave 4 and the current leg as a wave 5. Let's clear all of this. This one was we updated this one to be a 3, a 4, and we're looking for this one as an extended wave 5. That's why you see now we are around. We've already broken the highs at these levels, and we are at 390. This is the reason why here. So let's look at some more of these charts and how we've been looking at them on the S&P 500, how we forecasted this. So this was September last year. You can see how clear the structures were. We were only looking for this one to continue to the upside. So that is the forecast from when we were around 340s. We're looking for this one to keep pushing to the upside. This is a weekly chart. Let me see if I've got a lower degree chart that can show us clearly what the expectation was there. I'm sure we'll find one there so you can see it, how we forecast this before the moves happen. Let's look for one here. There we go. Yes, one here. Look at this one here. If you remember, or if you can, if you've seen the structure and what we expected here, this is a clear chart on the S&P 500. Now, this will tell you exactly how we forecasted this. We are looking for this one to drop here. The whole move that started since the beginning of the year of 2020 that has been playing out, where we are now close to 400 over here. We've just hit the 400 this morning, or rather over last week. This has been based on this analysis. And look at when this was posted, October 2020. October 2020, we've hit the 400 on the S&P 500. That is how we have been trading this. So if you have a structure like this, why would you even think of selling here? It doesn't matter what happens with this, with pullbacks, whatever. We know that the structure and the sequence and the cycle needs to push to the upside. So that's why I have been saying one thing and one thing only, that just keep buying. This is what has happened. We dropped here as forecasted, and we've got the move here. Did we not hit the 400? This was not guesswork. We're looking at the structure, and that is how we adapt and adjust the structures as they play out. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. Now, what more analysis do we need to make here? We are still seeing continuation to the upside. That is the Dow Jones Industrial. In the next coming session, same thing that I've been saying, you're going to see a continuation to the upside. Same thing I said here, you're going to see continuation to the upside, because the cycle is still upside. Every time you get that, we're looking for upside. Doesn't mean that every time you see a flag, you just need to keep buying in any chart. That depends on the cycle, because you can find a flag doing this and it's in wave 4 of the lower degree, it does this and then it starts coming down, you lose your trade. That's why you need to understand the principle of this whole wave analysis. Dow Jones Transportation, continuation to the upside, still on the 4-hour. We're going to see this push to the upside in the next coming session as well. Nothing has changed there. The NASDAQ, similarly, I will post some of these charts from last year on our social media pages. Follow the social media pages so you can see how we forecasted and how we drew those sequences to come to the current targets that we're looking at. So on the NASDAQ, we had something like this. This is not the correct chart. So we had this one here. Last week we were seeing this one. We looked at this one as a 1, 2, 3 waves down. It made an impulse to the upside here. 3 waves down. Can we get another push to the upside here? One more three waves down here before we push to the upside. That's a possibility. Either we get one more down, or this can actually push from current levels. So let's see if it's going to take this level here, make one more down, and then upside. That would be a nice structure for a continuation to the upside. The UK 100 has been going sideways, but should continue to the upside as follows. The structure that we were looking at here, it was this 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and another 3 waves up here. That is just the lower degree here with this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's why we're looking for this one to continue to the upside at these levels. Right, so that is the UK 100. The DAX, very interesting structure on the DAX. Like I said, we'll post all these charts on our social media pages. So follow us on Twitter and on our Facebook page. All of them listed on the videos on the YouTube channel. Continuation to the upside. This is what we said last week. Still pushing up higher. Even though here, there's nothing more to say on the indices. It has just been simple analysis since last year. Just one single impulse. How simple can it get? That is the DAX NIFTY. We've got a trade setup on the NIFTY where we're looking for this one to be a 3-wave structure here and a push to the upside. We're looking for this one to play out there. Right, so that is the NIFTY. We're looking for continuation to the upside. And that's all for this week for the Forex crypto, for the Forex indices as well as the commodities analysis. Check out the crypto analysis shortly, or you can check it out. You can check the video here on our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend, guys. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.